If you're standing in front of the kitchen appliance aisle, scrolling through endless models, you're probably thinking the same thing I was. I don't want to waste a bundle on an oven that looks great on paper but ends up being a daily disappointment. The fear of overpaying for features you'll never use, or worse, buying something that won't fit your kitchen layout, is real. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. In this review, I'll walk through what it actually feels like to have the FORNO Villarosa 30-inch electric wall oven in a working kitchen, who gets the most bang for their buck, and where it might fall short for certain households. First off, the biggest question most of us have is whether the size and capacity actually match the cooking we do. The Villarosa offers a 5 cubic foot interior with 6 rack positions. On paper that sounds like a lot, but the real test is whether you can fit a holiday turkey, a sheet pan of cookies, and a roasting pan all at once without crowding. In my own weekend bake-off, I was able to pop a 12-pound turkey on the bottom rack, a double-layer cookie sheet on the middle, and a tray of vegetables on the top, all cooking simultaneously without any hot spots. The true European convection system circulates hot air with a rear-mounted fan that actually makes a noticeable difference. The turkey's skin turned out evenly browned, and the cookies didn't end up with a burnt bottom on the lower rack. That's the kind of uniform heating that can make a big difference when you're juggling multiple dishes. If you're a fan of precision cooking, the integrated temperature probe is a handy addition. I used it for a pork loin that needed to stay at 145°F internal temperature. The oven's probe lets you set a target, and the unit will automatically shut off or switch to a low heat hold once it hits that mark. It saved me from having to constantly check a meat thermometer and risk overcooking. The probe is also useful for breads that need a specific crust temperature or for delicate fish where you want to avoid the dreaded overdone texture. The control panel is a sleek glass touch surface, which looks modern and is easy to wipe down. For someone who likes a minimalist aesthetic, this is a win. However, there is a slight learning curve. The touch interface can be a little too sensitive. A stray finger while you're reaching for a dish can unintentionally change a setting. Once you get used to the brief delay before the screen registers a tap, it's not a deal breaker, but it's something to be aware of if you're prone to kitchen chaos. One of the headline features is the air fry function, which essentially turns the convection system into a rapid air circulator for crispy results without a separate appliance. I tested it by making a batch of frozen sweet potato fries. In about 15 minutes, the fries were golden and crunchy, comparable to a countertop air fryer, but with the advantage of cooking a larger volume at once. If you've been wanting to ditch the oil-laden deep fryer but still crave that crunch, the built-in air fry mode can replace a second gadget on your countertop. Maintenance is another area where many ovens stumble. The Villarosa touts steam cleaning, and it really does work for light grease. Running the steam cycle after a greasy lasagna night loosened the splatters enough that a quick wipe removed them. For heavy-soiled, baked-on messes, you'll still need a traditional scrub, but the glass door wipes down easily and doesn't retain fingerprints as badly as some glossy finishes. Now, who should actually consider this oven? If you have a family of 4 or more, enjoy cooking multiple dishes at once, and appreciate the convenience of convection and air fry capabilities built into the same unit, the Villarosa offers real value. Its spacious interior means fewer batches, which translates into less time spent shuffling pans and more time enjoying the meal. The temperature probe and 10 preset cooking modes also cater to hobbyist chefs who like to experiment with sous vide style precision or specific bake settings without having to program everything manually. For anyone renovating a kitchen and looking for a sleek, built-in appliance that can serve as a single main oven, this model fits nicely into standard 30-inch cabinets. On the flip side, if you live in a tight studio or a small apartment where a built-in wall oven isn't feasible, you'll likely have to look at countertop models or smaller slide-in options. The 5 cubic foot size can feel oversized for a single-person household that rarely bakes more than a small casserole. Additionally, if you're the type who prefers tactile knobs over touch panels, the glass interface might feel impersonal, and the occasional accidental tap could be frustrating. Lastly, while the convection is genuinely even, the fan does produce a low hum that some users have reported as audible. It's not loud enough to be a distraction, but it's worth noting if you have an open-concept kitchen and are sensitive to background noise. A practical weakness that surfaced during my testing was the doors.